Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Starks Podcast. Oh, you definitely don't want to miss this. We got some rock star entrepreneurs in tech. Yes, entrepreneurs in tech. Stay tuned. Welcome, guys, to another edition of the Starks Podcast. We're so grateful and thankful you guys are watching. Today, we have a rock star. I'm talking about we got some heavy hitters in the game right now. So I want to start off by introducing our guest, and then I'll get into our normal theme. So, we have Dr. Loretta Walls.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Doc?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. We got the hater in the building. What's up with Steve? Steve
All
Hater?
is good. All is good.
We got Mr. Armstead King. What's happening?
Everything is well.
Coach Burt Robinson Jr. How you doing,
Raise
Coach?
the roof.
And we got Soul Glow up in the building. We got Cherie Roberts. How you doing, Cherie?
Good.
Look at that. Hey, I see that skin glowing. All right.
That's the point. That's the goal.
So today we're focusing on entrepreneurs in tech. And we've seen podcasts before about entrepreneurs, and we celebrate all entrepreneurs, and that's why we're here. But we want to get more technical. We want to get to the folks that deal with a lot of technology, and we want to tackle some of those hidden gems and questions and get you guys to understand the different personalities along with the different perspectives of having entrepreneurs in technology. So Dr. Loretta Walls, Doc, tell us about you and what your business is and what you do.
Well, like you said, I'm Dr. Loretta Wall. I'm a wealth and wellness strategist. I'm the founder and CEO of Wall Wellness and Associates. It is a preventive health and telehealth company. And then I'm also the founder and CEO of Lead with Love Agency, a financial literacy and leadership development firm.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
See, I love that because I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've networked with a lot of people. I've taught a lot of thousands and thousands of students, but not ever have I seen a doctor, like somebody that I have this woman's personal phone number, you know? So we got a doc in the building. Doc, we appreciate everything you're doing. Kudos goes to you. I celebrate what you're doing and everything that, and we've got some work to do.
Yes, we do.
We got work.
I'm
we coming
ready.
to year end?
Yes.
Yeah, so
I'm ready.
It's always great to see it. I'm going to go to the coach himself, Coach Burt Robinson Jr. Hey, Coach.
Glad to be here, Brian.
I'm happy, so thrilled. Every time I come in your presence, I feel an anointing over me just because of your presence. So appreciate you for coming out today. Why don't you tell the viewers about you and what you do?
Well, I'm going to say it. I think I probably have more experience than everybody collectively here.
I love that.
That's that much.
That's wisdom.
Well, they call me Coach Burt, and that's what I'm known around the country as. And my background is technology, and it's entrepreneurship, and it's financial. And so I go back a long ways in Dallas, Kansas City, Chicago, LA. I've lived in all those cities, and I'm the same. And
Never
the
change.
same is to promote and build communities.
Absolutely.
Through ecosystem.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of things with the Entrepreneurial Competency Center is one of my companies. The other company is called Coach's Class. CLASS stands for Communication, Leadership, Action, Success, and Service. That's an acronym. And those are the things I teach. And I teach it to a wide spectrum of people, and we have 3 learning management systems. And it's interesting, Doc, that you talk about financial literacy because I am a registered rep.
Nice.
I'm going to retract that because I gave up the registration, but I still have all my credentials in terms of LUTCF and FFCP. And we have members of that, and we have a team of that. I believe in building teams, collaborative efforts. You don't get a long ways in being a solo entrepreneur. One of the problems with entrepreneurship is most of the people that say they're entrepreneur, they're solo entrepreneurs. They're not building. They're not building because they're not employing. They're not giving opportunities to other people. And I have the statistics on that. And the last shout out will be to the Kauffman Foundation. And I tell anybody on this podcast, if you have not looked at the Kauffman Foundation, it's out of Kansas City, Missouri. It's the largest think tank on entrepreneurship in this country.
Wow.
And I am an affiliate of theirs and have been for 20 plus years. So I'm glad to be here because this is right down my alley. Technology and building the community.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir, Coach. Mr. Armstead King.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for joining. I want you to tell the people about yourself, your business, and what you do.
Well, I'm Armstead King, as you stated. Basically, entrepreneur, CEO of Han Group, as well as Thorrent. Han is a scaled agile framework partner, where we pretty much develop and coach people on agile practices and different program and project management styles. So that's like our bread and butter for like our family business. And then Thorrent is a event-based religious LLM that specializes in events. So we target different markets and audiences and things like that.
All right. Amazing. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on the show. Miss Cherie Roberts. Tell the people about who you are and what you do.
Of course, they call me Glorious Glow. I am the founder and owner of Unearth Skincare. So it is a skincare brand. I'm also an esthetician, and my focus is self-care to other individuals, men and women.
Amazing.
Amazing.
The hater. That's right. There's always one in the group. A Steve hater. My man. Tell the people about who you are and what you do.
Well, I guess I can start from AI. That's a hot topic. But if I got to go down to the rabbit hole, it ends up with people, process, and technology. So if you know anything about people, process, and technology, and you want to learn about process and the AI that goes with it, well, one of the things that I say is that you're not really changing the process. You're adopting data into that process. And with data comes artificial intelligence. So when people tell you, you got AI, you got that AI, you can buy that AI, you can use that AI, don't fall for the hype.
Right.
Hype is real and it's going to die down soon.
Yeah.
What's going to stay is your data and that process that you develop during the hype cycle.
Yeah.
So that's what I do as a subject matter expert in data. I'm a CompTIA subject matter expert. I'm a subject matter expert that was an AWS team developing a machine learning crawler that will help you develop databases based on artificial intelligence.
Nice.
Something that would take you 6 months. The crawler was doing it in less than 6 minutes.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
So this sort of information and knowledge is what I share with people through a community called SMART, AI community. S stands for specialist, M for methods, A for advocates. I'll get to the R&T, but let me explain SMA first. Everybody's a specialist. Everybody has a domain knowledge. Everybody has an expertise. What we do is understand their expertise and speciality that they have and talk to them about the method to advocate. Once they can pick that advocacy piece, and advocacy could be anything. I want to help the person to my left, person to my right, my neighbor, or even the doctor that I met the other day that I just like. I want to advocate for him. I want to advocate for his job. I want to advocate for whoever, whatever, my job, my family, my community. We talk about this advocacy so that way you can do RT part of it, research and training. For the last 10 years, after I got out of the military, I've been in the military for 10 years, got out 10 years later, I was super lost. So amount of time it took me to do research and training to find myself, if it took me 10 years, what I would like to do is spend 10 hours with you and give you that 10 years back. That otherwise you probably have to spend doing research and training, figuring out what it is that you specialize on and why AI is so special in your specialty. So I'm trying to save people time. I'm trying to save people the energy that otherwise they're confused. So I give them a framework and I work with them through a Smart AI community, which is an open community, open to anybody. As long as you're curious, you're welcome.
Nice. I just want to say thank you. So this is one thing that I do with our Starks community, but mostly the internal and external Starks team. I always celebrate my people. I celebrate my people for what they do, because a lot of times, as I spoke on a previous podcast, good leadership is hard to come by. People are gone. One day they're here, the next minute they're gone. Why do they leave? Because leadership. So one thing I thrive on, and I make sure that I do for my community, but most importantly, my team, and now my guest here today, I thank you. I thank you all for being here. We've connected on different platforms. There's been some connections and other previous engagements, but I just want to say thank you to each of you. Cherie, what you do, and you hadn't even talked about the other side of the coin, which we'll dive into that. But I thank you and appreciate the counsel you give, some good feedback to help build great connections. Coach, there's not enough time in the room to talk about the things that you bring.
Thank you.
But I appreciate your mentorship, always being a mentor since day one, the day I met you. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Mr. Armstead, you've been looking for me.
Yes, sir.
And I've been looking for you. And that's how that works. So I really appreciate you. I know our schedule's going to align so what we can go ahead. We got great things in store. Doc, you caught me at a time where I lost my father and we instantly connected. But I want to let the people know this is a stronger connection because Doc and I, we actually work together with a client. So that's how we never met. And I've been working with this client for a while, and that's how we connected. And then the other relationships came from that. So thank you so much for all your encouragement and your support. And I know we got work to do in the healthcare industry.
For sure.
Asif, my friend, my mentor, we talk 5, 6, 10 times a day. Asif is a part of the Starks community. He's a part of the Starks Technology Services. So, we got great things in store, and I can't thank each and every one of you enough.
Thank you.
All right, so I took enough time. I apologize, but let's get in this journey. Entrepreneurships and technology. We celebrate all entrepreneurs around Texas, around the globe, but mainly we want to highlight, I intentionally assembled this team because I'm connected with each of these individuals, but I want to get their perspective and get you as a viewer their perspectives. We got skincare, we got a doctor, we got financial services, we got an AI specialist. We've got government contracts. We've got a whole vast variety of knowledge, wealth, most importantly, the community. So I want to open a discussion. So our topic is about entrepreneurs in tech. So as a tech person, you can do anything and go anywhere, but just a basic mom and pop shop entrepreneurs, I've assembled this team so that we can talk about some of the basic, doesn't matter where you are in life or in your journey. So Coach, I'm going to shoot it out to you for a couple of minutes here. I got a couple of questions for everyone as we get more into this. So Coach, how much has technology evolved in your entrepreneurship journey?
Wow. Okay. That's a good question. My first entrepreneurial company was a small company in Collin County, Plano, called Digitex Systems and Solutions. And we were one of 2 or 3 minority firms. This was during the 90s, and you can tell in the 90s what happened. We had the convergence of technology. Voice, data, image. And me being my background in technology, so you could look what was getting ready to happen, and we can see it. You talk about the evolution for a small business. Now, I was in it. I was selling AT&T, and the fastest speed was DSL.
We all remember that.
5G.
We all remember that, Coach.
But it was faster than dial-up.
Yeah.
And then we heard somebody talking about the data side. So, I've always come up from a world where you had the image, and that's a medium. And then you had the data, but you had to take the data. Data's nothing without turning it into information. So the speed up to entrepreneurs today, where you have more power on your cell phone than you did have on the desktop 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Has just sped everything up. And we'll get into some discussion on the whole communication link. It's different. And I challenge my young friends here to look at AI a little bit differently. And do you know the genesis of AI? Do you know how it has evolved and what are some of the challenges then they still are today? The real scientists at Dartmouth College, MIT, and others, they still have not really formed it. And challenge the software today on some of the things we hit was early release. We're going to use that technology term. I ain't going to call it bleeding edge. It might be cutting edge, but I'm not going to call it bleeding edge. But it may have been an early release. And so we have to be careful, and I caution by training people how to think of. If your brain has 1 billion neurons, you're powerful than that computer that you're standing in front of. But you got to be able to use your brain a certain way, and that's a certain way to think. So we teach process thinking because you have the most powerful computer. The computer that I saw, Xerox, and I said Xerox, where the first desktop came out of, they used the brain for completing the user interface. It's all about behavior.
All right.
And so we got that. And Asif and I have a lot in common because I think we want to use the tools that we have to do what software and technology will do, is make you more effective, efficient, and productive.
Nice. Absolutely. I agree with that. Cherie, so in the skincare industry, now people may be like, well, why do we have a person that's in skincare on the show? But again, it's all about the diversity. But see, there's another component to that you bring that people don't even realize. I don't know if you want to share that component, but that's what brings even more, make you more dynamic as an entrepreneur as well, because now you integrate your skincare along with your technology skill set. So my question to you is, can you be an independent project manager and work for yourself?
I am.
Oh, you are?
I am.
You are what?
I am an independent project manager. I mean, in my day-to-day, yes, I'm a project manager for a company, for someone else.
Yes.
However, I am an entrepreneur. So with being an entrepreneur, I started from the ground, and the ground is one person, right? Because I'm not employing anybody, but I'm one person. And so with that, I became the developer of my website. I became the appointment setter. I'm pretty much everything, right? And it has to do with tech. It starts there.
Yeah.
So that's the day-to-day. So project management, yeah. And I bring it into my day-to-day life as an entrepreneur as well. The balance.
Absolutely.
I would say.
That's great, because see, with project management, I think we are project managers of our own domains. So I think Cherie brings an element of, she focuses on that skincare because she wants us all to look good, feel good about ourselves, which you can't get any more human than that. But most importantly, her technical side helps thrive and drive her business. So awesome. Amazing. Doc, being that you are a physician, you help people day in and day out to be more healthier, along with other things that you do. How does technology assist you with being a physician?
I think technology is super important in healthcare because we have to use a lot of systems to be able to facilitate any service that we're offering any person. So like she was mentioning earlier about appointment booking, the electronic health record, being able to store data in a safe way so that we're in compliance with HIPAA, but also using some of the evolved technology systems to allow us to do things a little quicker so that we're servicing clients in a more efficient way. Because of the busyness of day-to-day for everyone, whether it's the provider, whether it's the business owner, or the client that or the patient that we're servicing. We have to be pretty quick with our services and pretty quick with getting lab results or ordering services, or ordering prescriptions.
Yeah.
And so technology in those systems allow us to do that more efficiently and do it without having to send a fax that may take a little more time, or to make a phone call that may take a little bit more time that we already don't have.
Right.
So it allows us to see patients, keep them safe, do it quickly and efficiently, but then also save us a lot of time.
Awesome. Yeah. And I'm going to come back because you said some things, and I want to come back to that as how the technology evolves for the things that we're doing at Stars Technology Services. So we'll come back on that. Mr. King.
Yes, sir.
What you do is phenomenal, and words can't even really express how we're on one side of the world at Stars Technology Services, you on the other side of the world.
Yes,
So we're both tech companies, but does that mean we're competitors? Absolutely not. We could be if that was our mentality and our mindset. But because we're good leaders striving to be great, we see an opportunity to where there's a real partnership to where we can actually help people, help corporations. My question to you is, as a tech company, what are the challenges you face with the clients that don't know technology?
I would say the hardest part is, I think we spoke to some people that was on the panel before, but just acronyms, just making sure people understand what you're talking about, trying to create a clear message to show value to the client, because if they don't really understand the processes or the technology, they don't know how it affects their business. So you have to clearly communicate that, right? So basically, if you get down to the bottom line, they want to know, okay, is this going to bring me more security? Is this going to bring me XYZ? So it's almost like putting it in layman's terms for people to be able to speak on the same level.
Right.
And a lot of clients, it just depends, right? Sometimes I talk to a CTO. Sometimes I may talk to just a project manager. The project manager is a whole different conversation from a CTO.
Absolutely.
Right? So we have to just make sure we understand and know our audience and understand what we're trying to deliver as value.
And early on in my career, and I can feel what he's talking about, because when I first started off in tech, you know, you talk to people, you're telling them what to do, but then they're looking at you like, okay, I don't understand. You're speaking a foreign language. So early on in my career, and I think, you know, it was fate or, you know, God's will, whatever you want to call it. But it was, I feel that, because now, as I've taught folks that didn't understand, now that becomes imperative. Like you said, talking to a CTO, all right, the chief technology officer, is a lot different than talking to a project manager. And we can say the same thing about a doctor or an AI specialist. You know, the conversations are different, but that's where we have to become. We have to become. Let me say it again. We have to become not ordinary, but we have to be extraordinary.
Absolutely.
Because we're trying to convey a language so that we make sure that we're speaking the same language. Asif, the hater. So, with a lot of things that you've seen in corporate America, now we get to the prettiest girl in the room with you. You get a chance to dance. We get to show off your pretty girl.
That's right.
And her name is artificial intelligence.
That's right.
How does artificial intelligence, which, by the way, everybody in the world is probably watching this and needs to hear this, but there's so much scrutiny, there's so many avenues, everybody's talking about AI, AI this. That's great. But really, it's like talking about, what am I going to do? I can do this for you. But now it comes to a call to action. And I like that. Tell us how entrepreneurs can utilize AI and why.
Well, let's do this. Let's communicate, because that's what Coach Bird just said, right? And you said become. Ordinary people, and I don't mean to tell anybody that they're ordinary, but if you're thinking about ordinarily, you're thinking about a keyboard and a computer.
Mhm.
If you're thinking about extraordinary, you're going to think about communications,
Yes.
communication between devices.
Mm.
So we talked about CTO, project managers, healthcare, skincare, entrepreneur, solopreneur. If you want to be extraordinary, you have to think about communication between devices. And that boils the world down for you for last 70 years and next 700 years to come.
Right.
Mhm.
Data will never change. Data collection will never go away.
Right.
Just like human communication will never go away.
Absolutely.
So if you think about artificial intelligence, call it an augmenting intelligence. It's augmenting our intelligence to be able to communicate with each other, just like a system or a device can communicate with each other. So that's your 101 as an entrepreneur or CEO, project manager, product owner, project administrator, whatever your title you have to communicate. And now a system that augments that communications on your behalf opens up a whole nother possibilities and doors for you if you think about it from an augmented intelligence perspective.
There you go.
So before the call, we talked about data maturity.
Yeah.
You're not maturing the data just so that way you can benefit from it, but the maturity of that data means other people can communicate with it. So data is artificial intelligence.
Mhm.
And if you have an artificial intelligence that is very shy, doesn't want to talk to people, doesn't want to make eye contact, it's not going to do good as far as a corporate representative, right?
Okay.
So you have to really think through all of these psychological aspect of it, right? Psychological safety of your end users for AI, psychological safety of the people that are developing those AI. It doesn't stop with what we know as a tech from, say, TV shows. It starts with your data, your business process, and your end users. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, if you look at the devices communicating and you're looking for a pathway to say, this is a corporate problem as an entrepreneur I'm going to solve, start thinking of it that way. In between devices, the data that's being transferred. And when the data is at rest, because you talked about HIPAA, what happens when the data goes to motion? And when data is being used. So those three states of data, if you think about that, you don't have to go down that rabbit hole of talking about, I'm going to learn about AI for the next 6 months in a university where I pay $80,000 to attend an online session that a physical person can't even respond back to me. I'm not saying that's ordinary. You got to be extraordinary.
Absolutely.
You got to become that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that. And I love the fact that Asif talked about augmentation.
Augmentation.
I mean, we can keep going with that one. But Coach, I'm gonna pass it over to you on the next question. So, now that Asif introduced AI into it, all right, entrepreneurs. So, in the healthcare, skincare, in government contracting, in a different space with financial services, I don't care who you are, and I think Asif just gave us the alley-oop, and I think we're gonna slam dunk it now. AI. So, real brief, Coach. How can AI help entrepreneurs scale? Because at the end of the day, what's the name of the game in entrepreneurship? We want what? We want to get that bag. We want to scale up.
We want growth.
We want growth.
We want repeat revenues. We want things to be more effective and efficient. I'm going to tie something together because I'm excited because what you said, I'm going back a little history and like, oh, I remember we digitized all the MBI records.
Come on now.
And that sped up the API.
Thank you. Thank you for your services.
Attending physician statement,
Thank you.
APS.
Thank you for your services.
So tying that all together. Then the other thing she said, I'm tying everybody back together and get to what I teach is called appreciative inquiry, AI. Appreciative inquiry. That's what I teach.
We're gonna learn something today, Coach?
So we're talking about this business, and when you said, "Oh, financial literacy," I have a financial literacy platform too, but it's not enough of us doing because that's the biggest gap.
Come on now.
That is the biggest gap. The next gap, biggest gap in our community is digital gap.
Come on now.
So
Speak.
AI is going to even take us even further away.
Preach. Preach.
99.1%
Preach.
is in a category, and then that other 1% is in another category. That's the wealth gap. So to me, that's the biggest gap. That's what I'm going to work on. Now, how can I use technology, AI, to help close that gap?
That's right.
I have a lot of science behind what I'm talking about because I believe in qualitative and quantitative statistics because those are the facts.
Right.
You can say, oh, I don't believe in numbers and I believe in, those are facts.
Facts are facts.
I don't try to turn them into a norm because that may be the norm. I do not know. I'm not trying to judge that.
Come on,
but I do
Coach.
want to know what I need to go and focus on.
That's right.
Come
And
on,
we
Coach.
have to have people that have the energy to focus a certain way. That's coming back to you. Project management. My communication leadership starts with each individual. If you ain't got it, how are you going to lead anything, including a project or a task or people?
I'm gonna stop you when you're lying.
I said I was going to tie everybody else in because communication is the first letter of my. Everything starts with some kind of communication. It ain't the communication with this. It ain't the communication with that. It's communication between man. We call it the social architecture of language. And we don't speak a common language.
We don't.
And we've got to bring people into a common language of understanding. So if you're talking medical and I don't know what you're talking about, MBI and APS, and I'm going to be lost.
Yeah.
I might shake my head, but it's going to come down the road that we're not going to communicate.
Right.
That's right.
Most
You're
of-
talking about what you're talking about was right on. Segmenting the CTO. Look at a Gartner. There's a report from Gartner. You know who Gartner is, right? They've got a report to say, oh, as a leader, you better know how to talk to the CTO, the board members, because you're not going to call the common language. I don't care what position. So use the right kind of language to communicate. So that's excellent.
Yeah.
Evolution and how can we do the augmentation?
That's right.
The brain needs to be augmented
Yeah.
because we
Yes.
have been taught a
Amen.
certain way.
Amen
and we've
to that.
taught to be disciplined a certain way.
He
And what
preached.
I call it in my world, because I was there, we call it programming.
That's right.
We created a lot of zeroids.
So you're saying using the Matrix?
Well, there's a thing called cybernetics.
Yeah.
That's right.
Cybernetics is creating a goal-seeking device. That's what cybernetics is. Now, we tied what we call psycho-cybernetics. Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And he wasn't a psychologist. He was a plastic surgeon. Dr. Maltz realized that, hey, I could make somebody beautiful, but if their brain still thinks they're ugly, they can look in the mirror and still see the
That's right.
ugliness.
Yes.
The brain's pathways have been formed, and we have to change and use neuroscience to change brain pathway. In some other communities, I'm saying we have a mental health epidemic.
Oh wow.
That's right.
Wow.
And so that's what I'm about, and I want to use AI to improve all that.
That's right.
Artificial intelligence is what? It's technology, software, it's programmed to help man to be more efficient, effective, and productive and raise all of us up. What does the Navy say? When the tide rises, all the boats rise.
All the boats rise.
Come on now.
Yep.
All the boats. Coach.
I know it's not my turn yet, but I just
Yeah.
you're putting the spirit in here. But no, I said this before. I think that for me, my purpose in life is to use my gifts, my skills, and my knowledge to elevate humanity. And what you're talking about is using all of our resources, all of our skill sets, our collaborations, our network to do whatever it is to do that God put us on this earth to do, to add that to humanity, to add that to community so that we're growing. And I talk often about growth mindset always. That is equivalent to you saying the brain needs to be augmented. So I feel you.
I
love
feel
that.
you.
I feel you.
I wanna hold right there because that actually, Coach, you done birthed it.
Right.
He done spawned it. So
You gotta be careful who you let come over the stage.
I'm getting excited.
We need 1 more hour, folks.
So, Doc, I want to tie that into because you guys really, and I think Coach set the stage. He's connecting the dots right here. So, if you actually take a look at the Starks logo and see, what do you see? You see things connecting. If you take a look at it, it's connecting. So, it's ordained up in here. It's ordained up in here. So, one question, the other question I have for you is, with what you just said, and piggybacked on what Coach was mentioning about the brain and how it needs to be augmented, how far can we go with technology in the medical field? Because, I mean, that's the question, right? That's $1 million question.
Right.
I mean, before you even answer that, let me just tell you guys, from an ethical hacking standpoint, I had a privilege to go to a facility over in a different place, a different country, and I'm literally watching 2 people that are mentally, I mean, they're vegetables, but they created this augmented reality, this virtual reality, to where they continue to live. So as now, people are living in a virtual world, able to procreate and do whatever they want to do, you know, from having breakfast on the beach, because their brain, the neural networks, when we talk about the fundamentals of AI, which Starks Technology Services, because we could teach you that. But
Preach.
when we talk about the neural networks, and I mentioned how people can, your body is dead, but your brain is still living. How far can we go with technology?
Now, you're the IT specialist, but I think the opportunities are limitless. Coach mentioned something earlier about neuroscience and how, you know, the brain was a model for technology in whatever sense. That is so actualized in your observance of that, because I also realized the connectivity of how the human body is so unpredictable, but it's also predictable. It's so many things we know, but so many things we don't know about the brain. And then, but also, like, for example, I was talking to my brother-in-law, who is a leader in of a plant, not a plant. What is it called? Like it's a plant, like it's a Nissan plant. And he was talking about manufacturing. He's a executive there. And he was talking about helping one of his team members with maintenance. And he was describing all of the things that he needed to tell him. I said, that is equivalent to how the kidneys works in the body.
Oh, wow.
Like, I know nothing about maintenance. I know nothing about plumbing. I know nothing about that. And so to make that connectivity, when you talk about what's the limitations or the opportunities for healthcare and technology, healthcare services people. Technology services people.
Girl, you better come on.
That's right.
And if we're using our gifts, skills, and knowledge to advance technology, we should be using it to advance people. And people and community is what we are supposed to be connecting, so that we make our mark on this world. We're servicing God's people. We're doing what we need to do to make things more livable, to decrease the disparity in health and wellness and wealth and all of that stuff. And so it's limitless. I get excited. I'm not a specialist, but I'm adaptable, and any information that I can get to make things better for the next person, I'm game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I want to add, because I think she answered your question, but I'm going to tell you what I was thinking. Go watch RoboCop. You talked about somebody being dead, what they can do. Go watch RoboCop again.
That's a good point.
That's it.
So, Mr. King,
Yes, sir.
that's kind of hard to follow, isn't it?
Yeah. That's a tough lineup.
But with relationships that you serviced all over the world, the nation, how does technology, from your perspective, bring folks together and then make it productive?
Well, I think you said one thing that's key, and that's relationships. Relationships are key. You have to make sure that anybody that you interact with, you come with genuineness and understanding. Because not all problems are, made for a hammer, and not everybody has the same understanding as you.
Right.
So you have to have that compassion to be that I always call it like the empathetic leader. So if
good.
you make sure that, you know, you're folding clothes right next to the other person that's folding clothes and you in the trenches with them, because I did 8 years in the Army. I was a non-commissioned officer.
Cool.
So I will never tell somebody to do something that, you know, I'm not even going to try to do, right? So I think that's the major key is relationship building. And you always want to keep your network together. Like, just because you're a resource for me, that don't mean I'm not going to connect you with the next person.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I never know what you can do for somebody else that I may be lacking. So
That's
the
real.
more we build that ecosystem and come together, it's easier for us to get those generational expectations to be a lot higher.
Yes.
Because as you can see, we pretty much are black and brown in here.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a unique opportunity to continue to, you know, bring people in and just keep everybody motivated.
I like that.
That's really
Oh, boy, I tell you.
Right. You said those are superstars in here. Like,
I'm telling you, I mean, I'm,
you guys are.
all right,
Come on.
Cherie, one last question for you.
Okay.
How much does technology assist you in helping balance with work as a project manager and then versus skincare, self-care?
Ooh.
Got him. Got him.
Definitely a balance. Ooh. Yeah, you got me.
I got I could give you some ideas. So, like for me, as you all know, like he mentioned before, we are all black and brown, and sometimes our access to capital is non-existent. It's null and void. And so, when you're starting something from the ground up, we leverage technology to fill that gap where there should be a paid employee in the beginning. Eventually, it will be, but you use that to kind of get from point A to B. So, for example, now I'm using AI. I go to a bunch of conferences because of growth mindset. Always, I want to continue to develop. And so I learned that if I'm talking to my AI system, hey, act as a healthcare researcher and give me the top 3 statistics as it pertains to diabetes in our community, in the African American community. What is the most sought out treatment plan? It gives me that tap, but also lists the research sources for that. Now, what would have taken me 2 hours to research and take me away from maybe sending prescriptions or doing appointments, I can look at that, click that link, get there, read it real quick, and then I can also service that client.
Nice.
Or act as a project manager and give me the top technologies I should be using for my business.
That's right.
Act as a top researcher and give me the top electronic health medical record systems I can use that has the most efficiency, that includes billing, that includes appointment, telehealth, video, all of that stuff. And so that's kind of how I use it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So we come.
You're back to me, right? Okay, so you did stump me, but however, I mean, I use it in my day to day, and I guess when you do something day to day, you don't really think about it until you actually have to speak about it.
That's right.
Hence why I'm stumped, because I like to talk. But I mean, I use it day to day. I use it at my job, and then of course with my skincare, and that just happens to be because of the company that I work with. In product management, and they also work with AI intelligence. I mean, I use it, and I take those gems from what I use, all the Chat GPT, the Tomato, right? Where because in my day to day, I also train people in Chennai, in Hyderabad, and that's in India, if you guys know. But I take that and I balance it, what I learned from product management, and I just put it into my business. So everything that I learned from the CEO of that company, and the information that he takes and gives to me, I take it like a sponge, and then I just transfer it over into my business, and it helps me grow, because you look at individuals and you always wonder, how can that person be a multimillionaire person? What did you do? Right? Give me your gems. And so that's just, I mean, I use it in my day to day, but I take from my work and what I get paid to do and put it in something that is going to create my revenue.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Armstead talked about it, relationships and
Definitely.
transference of data. So Steve, bring us home. In a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
give us give the people what your projection of how entrepreneurs can help benefit from using not only AI, but just technology.
Yeah. So the key word is communication, because we just talked about communication in a whole bunch of different ways. See, they all have technology behind it. So technology is a medium that you can speak into, just like a microphone that's in front of me.
Right.
So let's talk about something from 10 years ago. If you look at Fortune 500 right now, some of the companies that you didn't even know 10 years ago, they all have something in similarity, is where they collected those data. And I'm not going to give away the answer to you. You have to look it up on ChatGPT. It's this thing called data, where they collected those data and how they pushed that data to communicate with their end users.
Yeah.
That's the difference between companies that have been around for hundreds of years versus a company that popped up 5 years ago.
Right.
Their evaluation right now is $3, $4, $5, $6 billion. All right. So let's talk about that a little bit in depth. What's going to happen in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? We talked about brain neurons. So when it comes to digital gap, let's analyze how much digital gap we have. You don't need to fill all the digital gaps in knowledge, but you have to fill it in your personal level.
Right.
In my personal level, you don't have to run with me, because you have to run in your own direction, in your own path.
In your
I run
own
really
lane.
slow. I'm like a turtle when it comes to
In
running.
your lane.
So let me talk about something that we talked about with the brain and neurons. The fastest way that we're approaching right now, there's actually a computer that uses human neurons,
Yes.
neuromorphic chips, that uses human neurons to create data and engage with more data. That's living human brain cells that's being used for $35,000 in the computing.
Wow.
You can buy one of those if you like. And then that's where we're heading. But think about it from artificial intelligence perspective. AI is learning, but it is far slower than what we do as far as our own learning goes.
There you go.
You're not keeping up with AI, you're keeping up with yourself, because your learning got to change.
There you go.
When your brain fires one time,
There-
it has 100,000 different directions in
There you
86
go.
billion neurons.
Wow.
Neuron that fires together wires together. That means if you're not learning, your brain is doing that wiring call. I'm never going to learn. I'm never going to start. I haven't
So
started.
Wow.
And that's how it's going to be forever.
Wow.
That's so good.
Yeah,
Right?
that is
Oh,
true.
that's so good.
So if you're moving forward in the AI space or whatever tech space, don't think about it as
getting
tech.
excited.
Think about it for yourself.
I'm ready to go.
Yourself, your industry, and whatever tech can bring to it.
Nice.
I'll leave it at that. Thank
All
you.
right.
Oh, wow.
So
So good.
I'm telling you, I'm just lost for words, because I got all these rock stars in here. So that's
need
why
another hour.
I just sit back.
Can I do a brain exercise real quick? Because you brought your T-shirt real quick. What does everybody see on this line here? What is this? Is this the Dallas skyline? Everybody think about it in your own
That's our
brain.
stats.
This is a cybernetics thing. What do you think it is? And go ahead, Brian. I just want, and we'll
I
talk
see.
about it afterwards.
Yeah.
I see versatility, diversification, highs and lows,
Okay.
growth,
Okay.
progression down, but back upward.
I see a histogram.
Cherie, what you see?
Immediately, I just went to reports, stats.
Stats.
Where are you?
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, that's
All right. On said.
I think I'm a similar sentiment. I really just been kind of getting into stocks lately, so it kind of look like volume bars to me. But
See?
that's where I
What
think.
did you
Audio
say?
waves.
Audio
waves?
wave.
Ah.
Okay.
That's how the brain works. We all see things differently.
So good.
Again, we got to come to the communication of the common language. I call it the social architecture of language. And we got to get better at it.
So good.
And I see it from volumes raising the bar.
Raising the
So
bar.
as an entrepreneur, are you raising your bar? What are you doing to help elevate yourself?
Wow.
Are you connecting with the right people? Because a lot of times we as entrepreneurs, and we've been here, all of us in this room, we've connected with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And it's a life lesson. And you have to learn in order to what? Grow. All right.
So true.
Coach, tell the people how to reach out to you in 30 seconds.
Again, I'm Coach Burt Robb at coachesclass.net, 214-436-1211.
All right. Mr. Armstead, how can they reach out to you?
You can reach me at info@han, that's H with 3 A's and an N, .com. And yeah, that's pretty much where you can reach me at.
All right. Cherie, how can the people reach out to you if they want to get their skin glowing like yours?
You can reach out to me by Instagram at unearth_skincare, or you can go to the website unearth-skincare.com.
Nice. Doc.
I wanted to say one thing for clarity. I am Dr. Loretta Wall, D-N as in never, P. I live in authenticity. So you have a doctor of medicine, you have a doctor of nursing, you have a doctor of dentistry. I am a doctor of nursing, doctorally prepared, advanced practice nurse. And so when the MDs have coined the term physician, I am a clinician. And so I just want to make sure that we have that. And I collaborate with all healthcare providers and everybody else to provide access to healthcare in the community. So I can be found at wallwellnessandassociates.com and on Instagram at Wall Wellness and Associates. Also, Dr. Loretta.w on Instagram, Loretta Wall on Facebook, and leadwithloveagency.com for my financial services, and Lead with Love Agency on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Appreciate that clarification. And I totally apologize.
It's no. I just like to clear it up.
Yeah.
You know how we may say
absolutely.
tomato,
Exactly.
and we kind of group everything together. But I want to be authentic and make sure everybody else understands.
Nobody called me talking about football.
All right, Asif, the hater, how can the people reach out to you?
Well, there's a wealth of knowledge that you can find on LinkedIn. So if you know me, one thing I do is I live inside of LinkedIn. That's the best place to find me. So that's right. So if you're looking for smart AI community, which is s.m.a.r.t.ai community, you can look it up through my profile. It's Asif, Haider, Haider. If you look me up on LinkedIn, you can send me a message, connect with me. But most importantly, you can check out Smart AI Community, where we meet bi-weekly on a live stream, and we also do research behind the scene. So every Friday, we call it Aloha Friday, and there's an acronym to that as well. We do research and training, and we showcase our research and training, and we help you with your research and training. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So here it is, another Killer Starks podcast. I want to thank all of the guests here. I don't even know what to say after all that, man. That was just, I don't even know how to do anything else. But one thing I do know how to do is, if you want to reach me, you can reach me at Brian Starks, support at starkstechnologyservices.com, or you can call our 1-800 number, 800-316-4606. Listen. This entrepreneurship in tech is massive. We will definitely have the guests back to do a part 2. So stay tuned for that. Until then, Starks Technology Services bridges the gaps. We bring everyone together, and this is how we do it. If you're interested to come on our show, just get at us again at support at starkstechnologyservices.com. Until then, this is Brian Starks with Starks Technology Services. See you next time. Entrepreneurs, take a look at us. We're here. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.